so interesting. Okay, are you missing anyone right now? Do you think they are missing you too? I miss my family. So I immigrated to the U.S. in 2018 for school, and literally I'm the only person in my family that's here. My parents and my siblings, my aunts, my uncle, my grandma, everyone is back in Malaysia. That's where I immigrated from. And so I think I miss them so much, especially my parents. And I know they're missing me too. I just got on a call with them on my drive here to record this podcast.
You go visit them, or
okay, I do. Yeah. Not
Okay.
as much as people would think. Just because Malaysia's so far away.
Yeah.
It takes like 20 hours to fly from here to Malaysia, or Penang. That's the island I grew up on. But I want to say like since 2018, maybe I've visited them like 4 to 5 times.
Okay.
We'll say 4.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
So that's a little bit about me. Yeah. I am an immigrant. Came here for school. Actually have no desires to stay here and I wasn't even sure if I was going to stay here. I know, like, I think I deep down knew that like I would not go back to Malaysia, but I would always think that I would like immigrate to like another country, whether it be in like Australia, Europe, or the US, one of these countries. But like I wasn't sure if I was gonna stay here until I met my husband. I'm like an adventurer. I don't know if y'all can relate out there, but like I love having my own experience. I love like discovering new cultures. I love traveling. So yeah, that's just kind of like my personality. So I knew I would like live out of like the country that I grew up in or that I belong to, but like I just didn't know where. But anyways, yes, I miss my parents. I miss my family.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate that for you.
I mean, it's part of life.
Yeah.
I really do believe. Okay, and I don't know if y'all can relate to this, but I think as an adult, sometimes the phrase "distance makes the heart grow fonder."
It does.
Like really rings true. Like I don't know. Like I've had like right now, like I'm having like the best relationship with my parents. Not just because I'm living so far away from them, but I feel like when you have like a healthy distance away from the people that you love, I think it really helps you like cherish the moments that you're together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And this may be controversial because we also know like some other adults where they're like, no, like I see my parents every single day, every single weekend and things like that. And if that works for you, great. But I think Grace and we can both relate to the phrase, like when you have a healthy distance away from like your family, it doesn't make you love them any less or it doesn't mean that you love them any less. But
I think it also depends on like the history, right? Like for me, I actually felt like I didn't have a family. So as soon as I could, so like from college, like right out of high school, I ran to New York. Yeah. To like get away from my family. And I think there were even moments where I spent like a whole year without speaking to them. But I think through God, it's really helped develop a relationship with my family. And so we are closer than ever. Yeah. But that's just because of the childhood that I had. But I think if you grew up in a childhood with a very present family, then that's different, right? And you would miss them. Yeah. Because a lot of my friends were homesick in New York that I met, that I went to college with, you know? I never understood that because I was so happy to be away from my family. But that was, it's just, I think people have different circumstances and stuff. So,
of course. Yeah. And I think I've heard this on another podcast, but it's like, even if like you have like 2 or 3 children that grew up with the same kind of parents, they're going to have different childhoods, like...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I know you have a brother.
Yeah.
Like, your experience, and even though both of you have the same set of parents, but both of you can have very, very different childhoods. Yeah. Right? Like, depending on, again, whether you're the oldest, the youngest, or middle child, and things like that, like, you can have very, very different experiences.
Yeah, totally.
Your mom and your dad.
Absolutely. Yeah, because like for me, when I was 100 days old, so Koreans celebrate 100 days because babies used to die before then. They sent me to Korea. So I feel like the moment where it is the most important bonding time for the baby to develop like any emotional, any like foundational characters and like emotionally, mentally, I was stripped of that because I went to a whole place who I didn't know, and then a couple years later my parents took me back, and then I was lost again. I'm like, oh, I've got a new family now, you know. Versus my brother was consistently with them, and then other things happened which my brother didn't go through. But one thing is that I think my brother would agree that we didn't have a present family. And so I know that it took a while for, I think, my brother getting married, and because of my sister-in-law, because she's such a like holy person, like she's you know, she's really dedicated to God and stuff, and you can see God working in her and through her, that because of her it's helped my brother soften a lot and like be more present with the family. But yeah, I think both of me and my brother, he ran to California. So no, he actually joined the Marines. Like he went to the Marines and then went to California. Yeah, so I think both of us were that's something that I think we will agree on, is that like we didn't really have a family. So yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah. I have definitely seen your brother like kind of like around whenever I would visit your church, and I would definitely describe your brother and your sister-in-law to be like very present parents in your niece's life.
But that's the reason why my brother's such a present parent, is because we didn't have that. I love it because like my brother is super present with the kids because of what he's been through. So he's trying to change the
narrative of your family.
Generational, whatever they call it.
Generational
trauma.
Such a millennial. Shall we go into the level 3? Okay, let's do it.
What do you think our most important similarity is?
Oh, okay. And maybe we can let you in on a little bit about why we created this podcast, because of our similarities. I think the main reason why this podcast works and how it started, I mean, it's our love for God, right? I think our level of commitment, I would say it's pretty similar. Our love for ministry, our we understand the value of community and in sharing our stories and in having important conversations like this, controversial or not, it's very important. So I think that that's why we're friends. And that's why we can make this podcast work. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree. I think it's our love and dedication for God. Like driving this podcast is an effort of outreach. You know, if anybody listens to this podcast, hears the story, and can connect, or maybe soften your heart, or you know, just open your heart and mind to the possibility of God. You know, I think that's all we can hope for and pray for. And because of that drive and similarity, we've created this so that we can be some type of stewards of God. Servants of God.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to give our listeners a little bit of a story time of how you started this podcast? Because this is entirely Grace's idea before she asked me to come on and co-host it with her. But yes, take it away.
Okay, so I accepted God in February, got baptized in November. During my whole process, there was a moment in June where God led me to a camp meeting. In that camp meeting, we did an outreach effort of door knocking, right? Like old school door knocking. But it hit me while I was in that moment, and it was like raining, and you know, we're hustling, or like, but then I just stood there and I was like, this is ineffective. This is not effective at all, because especially after COVID, nobody's opening the door. Like, I feel like we've become such isolated people, and so I've been praying. My main thing was, outreach. Like, how do I help you find and bring your lost children back home in an effective way where everybody's on media? And Eliza had invited me to the living room gospel, and literally the night before of going to that event, like God just threw at me like testimonies, podcasts, talk to Eliza, partner, type of situation. And so I was like, it was perfect because I was going to see her the next day. And even going to the living room event, I prayed in the car, and I was like, if it's meant to be. And then as soon as I brought it up to her, it was so easy. She was like, absolutely, let's do it. And so the rest is history.
And this is why we're here today.
Love it.
I love how, I think something that I've noticed that it's huge in your testimony or in how you live your life is listening to the voice of God. And just
huge.
having Him kind of speak to you through different people, through experiences. And so and I think it takes like a special relationship or a place that you have with God to even like know what His voice is, which we will uncover in future episodes.
I do want an episode about talking about the voices, because I did go through in the beginning of my steps with Christ of being fooled by the devil many a times, where I thought it was God's voice, but it wasn't. So discernment is a huge thing that only God can give you. But the reason why I am so big on the voice of God is because when I accepted God, and then He told me to fast for 7 days, because there was still a lot of resentment and anger, and the reason why I left God from the first place from my childhood was a whole thing. During that fast, on the 6th day, God downloaded like everything of my past, and I saw how He was trying to guide me, but every time He guided me, I shut Him out and went the opposite way, and how it spun me around and around and around to a whole dark circle of nothingness. And it, through what He showed me, it made me realize like the only person that knows my life and loves me more than myself and wants the best for me and can direct me is God. God is the only one that can direct me. So I have to learn His voice.
Why don't let's close this podcast with a prayer, and I can pray.
I love that. I love that. Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Father in heaven, thank you so much again for giving us this opportunity for us to just have an honest and raw conversation with each other and our listeners. Thank you so much for kind of bringing us in the way that our journeys are through the ups and downs. I think one thing that has been so consistent is your presence and your guidance. I think through our conversation, we can name different characters in the Bible where you have brought them, and I thank you so much for revealing them to us, that we can use them as an example of how we can continue to develop our relationship and our journeys with you. I like to pray for our listeners out there, whether they're commuting or they are folding their laundry or as they are doing art, I don't know, whatever they're doing out there, that you would continue to be with them, bless their families. And I pray that one day when you come again, that we can all meet each other and kind of reconnect. Again, thank you so much for giving us this time. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. See you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.